Now, a very tricky topic. What type of resources we need for our project? Is that web agencies, freelancers, in-house, or maybe offshoring or nearshoring? All of them have pros and cons, and specifically in startup environments. First off, let's define what you need to get done. There is a huge difference between a 20 or 30 days of development compared to 300. And the number of days required for each resources will be a great indicator to come up to a decision. So to get started, let's talk about what type of resources are required for a digital project. Let's start with the project owner. Usually, this is a founder, at least on the beginning. He is in charge of the roadmap, defining which features developing on which version. And in addition to the project owner, in the strategic team, we also have the project manager. He is in charge of sticking to the roadmap. This is the one who is going to find solution. And when things become more complex, the project manager will ask help to the IT architect. This is a person usually in charge of choosing language, technical solutions like database, evaluating the server capacity, etc., etc. Then comes the operational team, starting with the user experience, the creative, the branding profile that is going to create an entire customer's experience. Then comes the user interface, more focus on the final user's behavior. And next, the technical team, with the front-end developer, the back-end developer, or the mobile application developer. What about a full-stack developer? The full-stack developer is usually more the senior profile, able to manage all of them. I mean, the front, the back, and the mobile development. And that can maybe become a future manager. That's usually the first profile to hire when we grow. And to finish, experts like infrastructure, data scientists, machine learning, artificial intelligence experts. That can be also natural language, image, sound recognition, virtual reality, augmented reality, or game experts. These are all the profiles that might be required for your project. Now that you have a better understanding of which type of skills are required for your project, let's see the solutions and their pros and cons. Let's start with web agencies. The big pro for web agencies is that they are available whenever you need. They can be very fast in developing your software thanks to 2 or 3 developers in parallel. But they can also manage to find required resources for you. I mean, also designer, etc., and maybe experts. And they might need less project management, as they are already used to work all together. They can provide a global quotation as well as a bug support for your project. Now the cons for web agencies. They are usually more expensive than freelancers. They might also keep the control to the source code to be sure to keep you as a client. And they might lead you toward the solutions that actually are not the best solution for your needs. And lastly, when you choose a web agency, you need to pay attention to choose a company that is used to work with startups. So, in my opinion, web agencies are usually less agile, but they provide a very great solution, especially if you don't have time and if you are ready to pay for the security. Nevertheless, you will need to pay a close attention when you choose your web agency. It needs to be the right agency. They are not all equal. Now freelancers. That's a great option. They are easy to find on marketplace, but not always easy to evaluate. The pros for the freelancers is that they do not require recurring costs. They can be fast if they are senior, not that expensive, and then can have some good general suggestions if they already worked on different type of projects. The drawbacks of a freelancer is that they can be difficult to manage. They are not always available. They do not always provide the same standards as a web agency, and they also need other resources. And they might not have this 360 overview of the project. In my opinion, the freelancer is a great option. Actually, that's my favorite one because I have the technical skills to manage them. So if you go for it, you will need to be sure that you can manage several persons and you will be to evaluate correctly their background first. Now let's talk about in-house, internship and salaries. The pros is that they are less expensive and always available, almost. Now the drawbacks. They still need extra roles like designers or experts. And usually your first salaries will be more junior and they cannot know everything, And especially when you will need to make a right decision, they will not be able to provide you a real objective point of view. So in my opinion, trainees and salaries are a good fit if you know how to do it yourself, and if you know how to code, and if you have the technical management skills to lead a technical team. I do not recommend you to hire as a first salaries a young developer. That you will have very hard time to come up to what you are looking for. And one more thing, I will invite you to consider giving some equity to your first employees so that they are going to be more motivated. Okay, now offshoring. That's a solution for confirmed manager. If you want to work with Asia, South Africa, South America, that can be pretty complex to manage. The pro, they are definitely cheaper than anywhere else. Here are the drawbacks. They require technical skills to manage, to control and to teach them what needs to get done. It's pretty hard to find skills people, and they need time, a lot of time to counterbalance the culture gap. I mean, it's required very detailed specifications. And usually the software they are going to provide you is usually outdated. I mean, they don't have the up-to-date methodologies to develop a software that will be scalable for your company. So, in my opinion, offshoring might be good for prototyping with a very small budget, but just for very simple development. And that's really a solution for confirmed manager. Another solution is the nearshore. I consider as a nearshore the Eastern Europa. That's half of the price than US and Europe, but they usually provide a better technical level than Asia. And you will still need to check their English level to be sure to have a good understanding with them. To conclude that part, local resources are always better, especially from a management point of view. Then, nearshore is a very good option as well. And offshore might be a more complex option, and I really recommend it only if you have a very high level in terms of technical management. Moving forward on the development stage, you will have to select your development provider very wisely. And that's what we are going to talk about in the next video.